I guess we're going to play a game of Catharsis from start to finish. We're dealing with the Shamanic Spirit, and the part of the setup, the Shamanic Spirit boss is at the bottom of the boss deck, and I've shuffled all of the cards in a random order. We have our morale set at 21 for right now, and then all the tiers are in descending order. We all have our 6 powers, our roll card, and all the rest of our cards are sitting off to the side. We may get to touch them, we may not, but that's quite okay. And then these are the 4 rolls that we don't have involved in this game. So the 4 that we do have, we have Aiden the Bard, and Aiden's a really fun class to play because as he sings his songs go through the different verses, turning the cards around. But if he ever sings the 4th verse of his song, he's completed the song and it is permanently and forever discarded. So I have to be careful about how far into the songs that I sing. Whenever I take damage and the card is flipped over, when it flips back, it'll come back at the start of the song again. So I'll need to take damage in order to balance things out. And my passive and flip abilities let me level up my cards so that way I can get further into the songs faster. Jerome is playing Lemmy the Druid, and her deck is a lot of helping people manipulate their dice to get the things that they need. So super awesome support role, vital to our success. She has a passive that we hope to never have to use, which is that she can sacrifice 2 of her powers right from the board, permanently gone, but she prevents 1 damage that would be dealt to our morale. But her flip ability is really cool. If Jerome ever flips her roll card, we all get to take one of our dice and turn it to whatever value we want. So that's cool. Armani, you're playing Hidorian, who is a super fun role. His whole thing is that you're rolling the dice and you're storing them for the future, and then you'll reach into your dice pools and then pull them in to trigger the bottom half of your cards. So the top halves allow you to store the dice, and then the bottom halves let you trigger them. And just remember that storing the dice always happens at the end of the player round, because you can't store and use in the same turn. And then for you, Courtney, you're playing Saylaith. I think it's actually Shaylaith. It's Gaelic, so I'm pretty sure it's Shay. But I just like the translation of it is demon, so that's why I really liked it. So he has a really cool ability, which is Explode, which means that if a card has multiple costs on it, you can pay both costs and trigger the ability multiple times. And you also have the passive ability to deal yourself damage, roll some dice from that bag on the side there, and then hand those dice out to other people. Or you can flip your roll card, dealing some morale damage, but you give all of us extra dice that we then get to add into our hands and roll along with our dice. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Oh, and Armani, for you, your passive ability is that you can use the bottom half of your cards, and your flip ability is that you can reach into your dice pool and give out dice that we can use to trigger our abilities. So this is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, sounds good.
Any questions before we start?
We're good.
Okay. So remember, Armani, every single time I flip over a card, you get to store a die of your choosing. And so I'm going to flip over the first card, letting you store your first die.
Oh.
Okay, our very first card is a trap. It is a sinkhole. The ground gives way beneath your feet, and you barely have time to react. As a party, we choose one of these. Fall on top of your supplies. Lose morale equal to the number of players. Or let your supplies fall on top of you. Deal damage to each player equal to 1 plus the number of players. So that each of us would take 5 damage. Or we lose 4 morale.
So we only have 1 card playing.
We only have 1 card left. Now, don't forget, in between, we can always spend morale to heal up ourselves, but morale is a valuable resource. So what do you guys think that we should do?
That is a tough one.
That is a very tough one. The morale is very important. I would say...
I said take 5 damage.
Everyone takes 5 damage?
5 damage.
Sure.
Okay. So we're all going to have to flip over cards. Remember, for taking damage, you can flip it over for 1 point of damage. You can also discard a flipped over card, but it will never come back. And that counts only as 1 point of damage too. So the best thing to do is just flip over 5 cards.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't like that guy.
No, that sinkhole was really bad. Now, we have a choice. Before we reveal the next card, we can choose to spend one of our precious morale in order to keep going and unflip all of our cards. Or we can kind of roll the dice and flip over the next card and go in damaged as we are. What should we do?
spend one of our morale.
You guys think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus one.
So we're gonna spend one morale. We get to unflip all of our cards. So hey, the tension was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Better than spending 4 morale.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Better than
concur.
spend- Right.
Yeah, and that one seems like it's a fairly straightforward choice, but sometimes, especially if this had come up when we were about to switch from one tier to the next, that can be a really bad thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Hermione, you get to store another, and we have come across our first monster. It's the Dryad. Her movements are sinuous, more like a snake ready to strike than a gentle forest spirit. She views you as trespassers in her territory, and she does not speak your language. The plants around her bar your ability to leave. You have no recourse but to fight. So, for the Dryad, she has 20 hit points.
It's not so bad.
No, not at all. But here's the catch. She has a special thing. The Dryad's nature magic hinders your ability to move effectively. Players may not re-roll dice unless a power specifically requires it.
Interesting.
So whatever we roll is what we have.
Interesting.
So we have to get 20.
We're trying to get 20 damage. Okay, how best can we use this?
That's even better.
And that's the cool thing, is that as you're going and you're looking at things, sometimes you just realize, oh, things worked out. Wow, you got 3 pairs. That's awesome.
I did too.
You did too?
I got 3 pairs as well.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's trigger our abilities. I have my growing howl. If I sing 2 verses of it, I can deal 6 damage to her. So let me sing those 2 verses. And if I sing 1 verse of the screech slap, I can deal an additional 2 damage. So taking her from 20 down to 14.
Nice.
Easy money.
Yes. So there we go. So who else wants to use their abilities?
I'll use them.
Go for it, Courtney.
Okay, so I can deal 6 damage using
Awesome.
Tear Into because I have 2 pairs. So I'll do that.
Cool.
That's 6, so that takes them from 14 to
8.
8. And then I can also deal 3 damage using the Unholy Flames.
Oh, spectacular. Wow, she's already down to 5 health.
Very close. So I could deal 2 damage with Leaf Blade,
Sounds good.
and I could deal an additional 2 damage and prevent 1 damage up to 2 players.
Okay. She's
So-
sitting there at 1 health.
1 health.
Ah,
Run the card. Marmani, can you do it?
Can I do it?
we believe in you, man.
Okay.
We believe in you.
So the card
That
says-
1 damage. Because otherwise, she's going to deal 6 damage to the party.
Right. The
Well,
card
So,
says deal
preventing 2 of it. So 4 damage to the party because
says
Jerome
deal,
prevented.
deal damage equal to the number of stored. 1, 2, and I have a 1 stored, and all we need is 1.
Yeah.
So
1 damage.
Okay.
1. I'm
Cool.
gonna use my
But you
1
also
stored.
have to use the second part of that, which is you have to retrieve from your 4, 5, or 6 pool and prevent damage.
Okay.
So you have to do both. So you're going to have to empty out one of your
Cool.
other pools as well.
One of my other. I'll empty out my 4.
Cool.
One of my 4.
But you have dealt the final point of damage,
Awesome.
defeating
Good
the Dryad.
That was great.
And because you defeated the Dryad, we all get to unflip 2 cards. Which, unfortunately for you and me, doesn't really help.
Helps for me though.
But it helps for our 2 other compatriots. Cool. Okay.
I'm doing
Are
great.
you ready to store another die?
Yeah.
Go ahead and store it. Ah, it is the event Mysterious Spores. You realize a bit too late that the air is thickening. You've all breathed in the spores. Hopefully, they aren't dangerous. Each player rolls a die. On a 5 or a 6, that player heals 1. On a 1 or 2, that player takes 1 damage. On a 3 or 4, nothing happens. So we each get to roll 1 die and see what happens. Oh, well, I'm taking a point of damage.
I'm not.
I have a
I'm
2.
not either.
I'm not.
Okay, so cool. I'm the only one who takes damage from this. Apparently, all of your bizarre physiognomies allow you to handle this just fine and not me. Great. Okay, Armani, you get to store another die. And we have a event, Refreshing Fruit. You find a tree with a single beautiful ripe fruit hanging from it, glowing softly. Upon picking it, you see the glow start to fade. There's enough time for 1 person to eat it before it loses its glow entirely. Choose a player. That player replaces up to 2 cards or increases morale by 1. So replacing is that you get to discard,
Or we can.
and then you draw 2 new powers in their place,
Yeah.
or we can increase morale by 1. So does someone have powers that they're like, I don't really...
I like my powers.
So do I.
I think we could
Jerome, you
increase.
still good too?
And by that I mean get rid of these powers.
Not your willpower,
Oh.
the other
Oh, yeah, you could change.
powers. So you would be able to discard 2 of them and draw 2 new ones in their place. You don't know what those 2 new ones are.
But would it increase morale by 1 if I do so?
Oh, no, it's or increase morale by 1.
Increase
Increase
morale.
morale.
Okay, so we're back up to
Yes.
full. Cool. We're doing pretty good so far. Armani, you get to store another die. We come across the land leeches. Land leeches have medicinal properties, but do you dare deal with the horrific mess that comes with it? So these land leeches have 34 hit points. 34?
Sheesh.
Yeah, we're going to have an actual counter tracking sheet for this, but for right now, prototype dice works perfectly. Guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so who wants to go first?
I could go. I can deal quite a bit of damage.
Cool.
I can deal 5 damage
Oh.
using seal cracks,
That's a nice hit. Takes the monster down to 29 right there.
and I can deal 2 damage using taunting shots.
Perfect. Monster's down to 27.
So I could deal 2 damage,
Down to 25.
strike through the trees, and it also prevents 1 damage up to 2 players.
That's awesome.
So I'll prevent 2 damage on our part.
Cool. Who are you going to prevent damage to?
Let's see. I guess Courtney, she's missing a card,
Yep.
I'm all set over here.
and I guess
Yourself?
myself.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to use my Screech Slap, so I get to deal 3 damage with the second verse, and 4 damage with the third verse.
Nice.
So that's 7 damage right there.
Nice.
Taking this guy down to 18. 5 and 8. And then I'm going to sing the first verse of the Hymn to All Gods, which deals 4 more damage, taking the
Nice.
monster down to 14.
Awesome.
But my Screech Slap is in danger of finishing, and that would be very sad. So that's not being sung anymore.
Would we like to take out anything out of our pool?
Nope, I'm actually good for right now.
Yeah.
I think because I'd have to take a lot out of our pool in order
Okay.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing would work for me.
Okay, so the monsters now, they give us a choice. We can either take 1 morale damage and everyone is dealt 1 point of damage, except for the 2 that Jerome has prevented,
Mhm.
or we can take 2 morale damage and everyone heals 2.
Gold option.
Okay,
And then-
1 damage. So you and I both have to take 1 point of damage. So since I'm not going to use my Screech Slap anymore, that's a perfect time to flip it down.
I
Can we
do like
prevent 2
using this
damage?
one.
We did. We
You guys both
Oh,
prevent
we
1
did.
damage. Yep. Okay, I think we're in a good position now.
Yep.
Okay, next round. Let's go at it.
Another dice.
No, only when the cards flip.
Only when the cards flip. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like we have some damage that we're going to deal out.
Yes.
How about this? I'll start out and I'll sing the first verse of my Madrigal of the Hydra, dealing 3 damage to this guy.
Puts him at 11.
Puts him at 11. Should I keep singing or?
So I have the ability to increase the damage of up to 2 other abilities.
Why don't we use that ability now so that way we can get some extra damage
I
output.
agree.
So that takes it down to 10.
And
And so if I sing the second verse of the Madrigal, I will deal it. Can I use the other +1 damage from that?
Of course.
Cool. So that'll take this guy down to 6.
Perfect. So that can deal 6.
Spectacular!
I can also deal 2 more as well.
Cool. So we have the ability to super overkill the monster, but we aren't going to because we don't want to exhaust extra powers if we don't have to.
Okay.
Perfect. So we've defeated the monster. That means all of us get to unflip 2 of our powers. Okay.
Alright.
Looks like we're good. Armani, you ready to store a die?
I already stored him.
Ah.
Just stored it.
We have an event, the Hidden Cache. Cache? I have no idea how to pronounce this. But you spot a cache in the trunk of a tree, but you see a pack of chipmunks rushing towards you. We can either snatch what you can. You plunge your hands into the trunk, grab something, and then run away. But was what you grabbed actually useful? Roll a die on a 5 or a 6, increase morale by 1. Or gain strength from their resolve. If even these small creatures can fight, you probably can too. The party takes damage equal to the current morale damage, then roll a die. Increase morale by that much. So we currently have 1 morale gone. So if someone took 1 point of damage, then we'd get to roll a die and heal up to 6, but you can't ever go above that. Or we could say no one takes any damage, and instead we just roll a die, and on a 5 or a 6, we'll heal 1 morale.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
One
me
of
too.
us roll a 5 or 6.
So only one of us gets to roll 1 die.
Yeah.
So, do you want to roll?
Who's feeling lucky?
I'll roll.
6.
Spectacular!
Nice.
See, I knew you were lucky.
Back to 21.
Okay, everybody, you get to start another die. Okay, so this is a special card, and special cards can replace powers that you have on your board with a new thing. So this is the special Aura of Death. A wise woman steps out from behind a tree, way too small to have hidden her. She smiles wickedly at you as the foliage around her blackens. I will gift you with my blessing, she says. All you must do is taste a bit of death itself first. A player may discard 2 powers to take this card and add it to their board. So that is permanently get rid of 2 powers, and you get this one. And this says, at the start of combat, you may exhaust any number of powers, including this one. Deal 4 damage per exhausted power. So this is a power that can only work at the start of combat, but it lets you churn out a lot of damage, potentially.
Only 4 damage, right?
4 damage per exhausted power.
Okay.
And so if you have other ones that are already exhausted, those count. And then this one can also count. But it means that you have to give up 2 of your powers in order to take that one.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking my powers too.
Yeah, I'm okay with what I have.
I could take away 2.
Do you want it?
You don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No one has to do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
this
no.
is not a requirement.
Oh.
So,
No, then.
yeah, if you like your powers, then
Yeah.
go ahead and keep them.
Yeah,
Okay, I think,
that's
yeah,
what I
we
got.
got
Yeah.
really lucky with our starting powers. Okay, so we're going to say no to the strange lady and say, no, we like our lives. So Armani, you get to start another die. This is an event, a fallen hive. To keep your morale up, you decide to have a throwing competition. The targets were things like flower heads or branches. One throw hit a hive, causing it to fall to the ground. But was it a hornet's nest or filled with honey? Choose a player.
Do we have to choose a player before we keep reading?
Nah, I'm just going to do that. So who are we going to choose?
I guess I'll do it.
Okay, Jerome.
Okay.
They roll a die. If the result is even, they take damage equal to half the value. If it is odd, they heal 1 damage.
Even.
Oh, man.
So 3
Take 3.
cards.
3 cards.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I probably should have read the whole thing first.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll get rid of this one. Get rid of that one. Oh man. Oh my god.
Yeah.
This one. Alright.
So, just as a reminder, we can always say, hey, we're going to spend 1 morale in between cards and give everyone their stuff back.
Well, why don't we make sure that the next round he doesn't do anything really?
Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan.
Oh, okay.
I got
Okay.
some stuff stored up as
Yeah.
well.
Cool.
So,
So
I can
we'll-
store another one as well.
Yep. Okay, this is the event. Nature encroaches. Brambles surge forward and start to wrap around everyone. You fight them off vigorously, hoping to avoid their thorns. The poison they drip has an oddly euphoric effect. Each player rolls all of their dice. Any die that comes up a 6 may be re-rolled once. After, remove any dice showing a 6 from the game. Increase morale by 1 for each die removed. Okay, so we're going to roll all of our dice.
Oh my
If you
God.
get a 6, you get 1 chance to re-roll it. And if it's still a 6, it's gone.
Gone for the whole rest of the game.
Yep. So don't roll double 6s. This is what it comes down to.
What?
Oh no.
Oh, I don't roll any.
Oh, I rolled 2 6s.
I rolled 2 as well.
Okay.
1.
So
I don't
all of
roll
us
any.
who rolled 6s, you're fine. All of us who rolled 6s,
Roll
take
again.
those 6s, roll them again.
I got 1 6.
I don't have any.
I got
So,
1.
No.
oh, and our morale's already at full, so we don't get any benefit from it. So Jerome just
Lose
has
the die.
1 die less.
Oh man.
But I can give him back eventually.
Well, you can give him back for 1 turn every time that you
Oh.
take damage and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
It's alright.
You're our bad luck charm, and
That's
Armani's our
okay.
good luck charm. I got to this now. Okay, we've come across a monster. Swarm of mosquitoes. These insects are so numerous that they nearly blanket the sky. They don't deal much damage, but being unable to rest is sapping your will to continue on. They have 40 hit points. Yeah. And their damage is decreasing morale by 1. They don't deal damage to us. They're just
I'm ready.
eating away at our morale.
Okay.
But
Okay.
if we defeat them, we'll get 1 morale back.
Oh.
So we need to try to kill these guys as
But
fast as
what
we
could
can.
Could we go higher than?
Alright.
We can't go higher than 21.
So, okay.
So yes, the faster that we kill them off, the better.
Deal 2 damage.
Cool. So Jerome strikes first blood against the mosquitoes. That's an ironic
I think
phrase. Unintentional pun.
I have some damage I can deal.
Awesome. What sort of damage are you outputting?
Okay, deal damage equal to the number of the stored. So maximum 8. Whichever. I have 7 2s.
So you're gonna do 7 damage?
7
That's
damage.
awesome. Takes the
31?
mosquitoes down to 31. That's spectacular.
Nice.
And then you still have to spend the 4, 5, or 6 because you don't get a choice.
No, I'll
Yep.
spend 1 of them, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you'll have to empty
I'll
out your
spend,
4s, your 5s, or your 6s.
Okay. So I
I'll
can
spend
deal
the 5.
3 damage
3 damage. It's taking these guys down into the 20s.
and 6 more damage.
Oh, okay, 22. Spectacular. That was a good hit. I can deal 2 damage twice,
So 4.
and then deal 2 damage 3 times. So I can deal 10 damage
10
total.
Nice.
Down to
Jeez.
12.
Yeah. Takes a lot of singing to get to that point, though. Okay, so we've gotten the mosquitoes down to 12, but now they attack.
This still is wrong.
And man,
They are strong.
they're annoying. Okay, before we roll, do we want to spend 1 morale to get everyone's powers back, or keep going?
I think we'll be alright. There's only 12.
Yeah, we're keep on.
Okay.
We're like bare minimum what we need to.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, that's
Yeah.
my only move is I could change 2 die if I have to 3.
Okay, well, we'll see if I need that. So let's see,
Okay.
Courtney, how much damage can you deal?
I'm making significant damage here. So I can
Sweet.
deal 5 damage
That is significant damage, yes. Monster is at
And-
7.
and 2.
Monster is at 5, and then I will use this ability to deal 2 damage 4 times.
And
Awesome.
Yes,
they're gone.
they are gone.
Mosquitoes are gone.
Hey! So we defeated the mosquitoes. Everyone gets to unflip 2 of theirs, and
I get to store 1.
looking at, it says upon defeat, looking at the dead bugs surrounding you, you feel a sense of accomplishment. Hopefully the rest of your foes fall like these. Increase morale by 1.
Nice.
So our morale is hovering really high.
We'll keep it that way for a while.
Yes. We're doing really well. This is the intro boss deck, so it's a little bit easier than some of the other ones that we would encounter, but not by much. Also, the boss is really hard. Okay, guys, so after all of this, we are now ready for the boss. The boss is the shaman spirit. Verity's influence first corrupted lower intelligence beings. This creature clearly once was a horse, possibly a draft horse from a farmstead. Now, though, it has transcended its original form. Raw energy crackles along its body, each hoof strike drawing power from the land below, or maybe from Verity himself. The antler-like appendages wave around like insect arms, weaving arcane patterns. The longer it roams free, the more powerful it will become. You must strike now, but it might be too late. This boss starts out with 80 health. And its damage is it will deal 2 damage per player to the party. So it's going to deal 8 damage to the party and decrease morale by 1. But it's even worse than that. It has a special ability. The monster charges forward, drawing strength from the land, healing itself and sapping your will to fight. At the start of each round after the first, each player must choose one of these. Let the boss heal for health, or decrease morale by 1.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let the boss heal.
Well, it depends.
I mean, it depends on if we're really close or not.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we still have 12 morale left. But remember, when we get down to 9, we're going to go down a tier, and it's going to be harder and harder. So, you guys ready to go for this?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Courtney, this would be a really cool time to use your flip ability,
Okay.
which can give everyone some extra dice that they can roll to help trigger more powers.
Do you think we should do that? Yeah.
I think that, I mean, it costs a
It
morale.
costs 1 morale.
So, what do you guys think?
But you could get 5, 4, 3, or 2 extra dice.
2, because that's 5 for if it's a 1-player game, 4 for a 2-player game, 3, and then so.
You'd each get 2.
Yeah.
2 per person.
Yep.
Yeah.
So each person, and you get to re-roll these dice along with the rest of your dice. So that seems like a really cool
Especially
thing.
when we're dealing
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
boss.
I think that we
Okay,
should
that-
spend 1 morale and go for it. So okay,
that's
we're gonna
a
go
lot.
to 11, but we all get 2 extra dice.
Yeah.
Which isn't quite as helpful for you, Armani, but and it's only for this round. So use these well.
I'm gonna deal 4 damage.
Jerome starts us out, taking the monster down, taking our boss down to 76. 4 damage, cool. While that's going on, I'm going to deal 2 damage 3 times with my Song of Perfection Shattered. So that takes the boss down to 70. And then I'm going to complete the Ballad of the Last Stand. So I'm going to sing the 3rd verse, dealing 3 damage, and then I'm going to sing the 4th and final verse, discarding my Ballad of the Last Stand, but dealing an extra 6 damage. So that's 9 damage more that I'm going to
Nice.
deal out to this guy.
Okay.
Taking him down to 61.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. I can deal 3 damage.
3 damage, taking him down to 58.
Change 1 die by 1, if anyone needs it.
Change 1 die by 1.
Oh, and prevent 1 damage.
Preventing 1 damage is totally good.
I think if nobody needs a dice change.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay, that's okay, because we could still use.
Yeah. So one of the dice that we didn't use gets changed by 1.
Okay.
So-
You know what then? Since no one
Or-
can change a die, can I switch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
I'm
we'll
gonna
heal. We'll heal him back his 3 hit points.
Yes. Well, we'll deal 5 damage instead.
Oh. Okay. Then so it goes from 61 back down to 56. So
Okay.
the
That's a real. That's. A
so you thought about doing 1 attack and then you changed it down to an even stronger attack.
Yes.
Cool.
And I'm gonna deal 3 more damage.
That's
Oh.
always a happy thing. Boss is already down to 53. Sweet.
Alright. I could prevent up to 3 damage. Would you guys
That's
like that?
super good.
So I'm gonna prevent up to 3 damage.
Yeah,
So
because
I
the
have
boss
to
is
get-
going to deal us 8 otherwise.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get rid of a 2, a stored 2, a stored 4, and a stored 6. Even though I was
Cool.
gonna really use that one, but
Yep. And don't forget to flip the power because you used it.
no. And now I'm going to use I'm gonna
So you start out by
Do so.
retrieving the 2 and the 4 first, and then you get to retrieve the rest.
the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, you see at the top it says retrieve 2 and 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna retrieve a 2 and a 4, and then I'm gonna do 7 damage.
Cool. 7 damage.
7 damage.
So that's down to 46.
So I gotta get rid of.
Awesome. Okay. Are you doing anything else, Armani?
I think I can do one more thing. 1 second.
Cool.
Let me make sure I found this right one.
Quick question: if I use this, am I dead completely and I can't come back?
You are not dead until all of your powers are gone.
Off the map.
Off
Yes.
the mat. Okay.
Yep. You're just super exhausted.
Yeah.
Alright, and then I'm gonna.
And don't forget to flip that power because you used its
Yeah.
retrieve ability.
And then I'm gonna do one more thing.
Armani is going just full out on this. I feel kind of like this is an anime and it's like the super final ultimate battle and he's just unleashing all of his energy and he's gonna be exhausted afterwards, but it's gonna be cool in the interim.
I can prevent damage equal to the number of stored.
That will empty out your pools. Are you okay with that?
No, or I could
Yeah,
just
it might be better to wait, right?
Yeah.
that out. Okay,
Yeah.
or
This is gonna be a multi-round fight, definitely.
all right. So I'll wait to
Okay.
deal with him after.
So you prevented 3 damage. So the boss is dealing 5 to the party. So that means that we have to flip 5 amongst the 4 of us. Maybe not Courtney.
Not Courtney, definitely.
Not Courtney.
I'll flip 1.
I don't know if you guys.
I'll flip however many as we need.
I don't know if you guys want to flip this one. It says
This one is discard this power. All players draw 2 extra powers at the end of the round, and then discard 1 power.
Did you want to use that?
I don't know. It's for you guys. It said all players.
That includes you.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
have no. I don't have any.
Okay, well, then I'm willing to flip these 2 powers to take damage. Do you want to flip that one for
I can
damage?
flip
And then,
I could.
do you want me to also take one more?
You know what? You make a lot more damage. I'll flip 2.
Okay.
I'll flip 2. But which 2?
So, cool. And we have to decrease morale by 1 because that is also part of his attack.
Yep.
So we are down to 10, right on the edge. Okay. Before we go into the next round of combat, first we need to think, do we want to spend 1 morale to heal up everything?
I think we should.
Yeah, I agree too, because we have 2 people that are down to.
Okay. So we're down to 9 morale, and as soon as the morale goes down to 9, we are now exhausted, and now we have an ongoing effect. It now costs 2 morale to refresh, not just 1.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We're full. We have a full bank.
We got a full bank.
And 6. Oh wait,
And we all give back our 2 extra dice that we had gotten.
that's okay. We
Yeah.
did a lot.
We did a lot of damage.
Oh, I need
Yep.
to give you back 2.
Yeah. But, hey, remember this guy's stepping on the ground and he's drawing energy from the god? So each of us has to make the decision. Do we let the boss heal 4, or do we spend 1 morale to try to keep his health low?
I say heal 4.
How much? Oh, to 5.
Yep, as soon as we get down to 5, we're going to go down to the next. So
Have him heal 4.
have him heal 4, have him heal
Yeah,
4.
have him heal 4.
Okay, I guess I should go along with that. So he's going to heal 16.
Oh wait, 4 per person.
4 per person.
Oh.
Or 2
Yeah.
morale. Just that's it.
So each one of us gets to decide. So I could choose to lower morale by 1. Jerome could say, I'm going to heal him. Armani could say,
Also,
I'll heal. You could say morale. And so we lose 2 morale and let him heal 8
So
and then go
it could
forward
be
from there.
morale by 4. I say go
Yeah.
16 on the dice.
So do I.
Okay. So takes us back up to 62.
It's fine.
Okay, we have a lot more cards this time.
We do. Okay. So, also because
Oh.
we've used morale, don't forget to unflip your roll power.
Solid.
Yes.
Do we want to use the flip?
All of us
more-
get 2 extra dice.
Yeah, I think we should since we're so packed.
Sure.
I am definitely going along with that. Yes.
Sorry if I'm not giving everyone back their original colors.
That's okay. I like
I
that you
did.
assigned us colors.
I think I did anyway. I ended up doing it anyway.
Okay. My passive is that I can increase the powers level by 1. I may want to do that. Let's see. Okay. Do you have the ability to change a die into a 2 by any chance? Or change a 2 to a 6 or a 6 to a 2?
I have to change 1 die by 1.
So we can stack that, so that can take this to a 5, and then change 1 die by 3 by any chance?
I could change the value of 1 die up to 3. Yeah.
So if I could combine both of your powers together, that would allow me to change the 6 to a 2, and then, cool,
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
thank you. That'll let me get my Song of Perfection Shattered to trigger it as well.
Shattered?
Song of Perfection Shattered.
Oh, this,
That-
okay.
yeah, so-
I didn't know if shattered was like get it.
Oh yeah, well no, that
Okay.
but I am going to finish my Madrigal of the Hydra, so I have one thing that's gonna go. So, okay, well I'll start out with thanks to your 2 awesome abilities, Song of Perfection Shattered lets me deal 2 damage 4 times, so that is 8 damage to the boss, taking him back down to 54.
Nice.
And then I'm going to sing the Madrigal of the Hydra. The 3rd verse lets me deal 3 damage, and the 4th verse lets me deal 9 damage.
So
So that's 12 extra damage, but I had to discard the power. So that takes us back down to 42. So I've undone most of its healing. And that was the extent of my turn.
I have a. Would it be helpful to use increase the damage of 2 others by the ability of 1? Then help.
Yeah, definitely. So we could have increased one of the Madrigals of the Hydra. We can also increase one of Courtney's by 1.
I have 1 damage that's worth 5,
So
but he
So-
had one that's worth 12.
Well, it was 3 and then 9. So we'll increase the 9 to 10, and then we'll increase your 5 to 6. So
Sound
I
good?
actually did 1 extra point of damage.
Yeah, that's
Thank you very much, Jerome.
Yep.
So 41.
And take one. You're gonna take one as well.
Yep, so that'll be. So I can go next. Deal
Yep.
5 damage.
5 damage down to 30 and 6.
And then deal 3 damage. I changed your die by 1. And I
Which
can prevent.
appreciate.
And I can prevent 1 damage.
Cool.
So prevent one.
Yep.
I could deal 2 damage. And
Okay.
then prevent 1 damage up to 2 players.
We will need that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
Then for him.
we're down to 31. And Armani, you're spending this turn to recover all of the dice that
Yeah.
you spent.
Yeah, I did actually.
Yes.
I did.
Cool.
I could.
Remember,
I could
you can
deal-
either use the top or the bottom. So you can either store with a card or retrieve. You can't do both.
Alright.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
a tough decision.
So I'm gonna deal 6 damage.
Okay.
I'm gonna deal 6 damage. And I gotta get rid of one of the 1, 2.
Boss goes
Actually,
down
I only
to
could deal-
25.
Actually, I only could deal 5 damage
26.
because I have to use this anyway.
Cool.
So.
So boss is at 26.
One, and then 1. I'm gonna see what else I could do. Retrieve a 1.
So remember to take the die off the top part if you use the bottom part.
Sorry, I use this one.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm going to deal 7 damage.
Okay. So that you have to start up by retrieving the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, the 2 and the 4.
Yep. And 7 damage will
2 and a
take this
4.
guy down to 1 and 9.
Nice.
Cool.
We're doing well.
We're doing well.
That's all I got for right now.
Awesome.
Let me make sure.
And now you get to store your remaining 4 dice
7? Yeah, so.
and hand back
Yeah,
the
those
extra
are-
dice that you gave us. Thank you. Okay, the boss is going to strike back at us, dealing 8 damage, but you prevented 1,
Yes.
and you prevented 2, so 5 damage. Sweet.
Okay.
So I can flip this one,
I'll flip this one.
so that's 2 damage.
I can flip this one.
That's 3.
I
can flip this one too.
No, I could.
I'll
can flip this
it.
one.
I'll flip
I
it.
can flip.
Alright.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
need this one.
Okay,
I'll flip
This one
one.
is like.
so that's 5 damage that we've taken.
Okay.
Okay, so, end of the, and then the morale goes down by 1, because the boss, sorry. So, do we want to spend 2 morale in order to get back all the things that we flipped over? Or do we want to keep going?
What do we have? We're at 8 right now.
We're at 8.
And he has what, 19 left?
He has 19 left.
I'd say flip.
I see.
We could finish them off.
We can,
Okay,
Yeah, I
yes?
say roll it.
No?
Yeah, I
Yeah?
say
Yeah.
go.
We
Okay,
can get 19 points.
okay. We're at 6.
Wait, do we want to do flip this again?
Oh.
Because we can get 6 more. I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Okay, so this is going to go down to 5. When we go down to 5, the morale degrades a little bit more. We are now desperate. Not only does it cost 2 morale to refresh, all players discard a power.
Jeez.
Yeah. Things are getting really desperate.
So that was an easy decision. That's not good for you because you're dealing a lot
But
of
it's
damage.
okay, I'm still alive.
With this card, kind of.
Yeah, that card could totally help counterbalance what just
Yeah, I was
happened.
just gonna. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
because
I'm gonna-
that's part of what that card is for. It's like
Yeah.
it can help you get that
Counterbalance,
second wind.
Yeah, I don't need this. So.
Okay.
Alright, let's finish them
Let's
all.
do it. We can, oh, wait a second. At the start of the round, though, we all have to make that horrible decision. Let him heal 4, or do we deal 1 morale damage to ourselves?
Let him heal 4. We'll take care of it.
Per person? So that's going to take him up to 35 hit points?
I think we can do that.
Yeah, I
You
think
can
we
do 35? Okay. So
Or when do we have to get rid of? Oh, when it reaches 1.
when it reaches 1,
Or
But that's
then-
like that's bad.
That's super bad. That would be yeah.
Okay.
That is
I think we can get 35.
Yeah.
With 6 of
Do
these?
we get to use the same amount of dice?
Yeah, because I
because
flipped it.
yep.
Okay.
Oh wait, we need to decrease morale by. Oh no, we did
We
decrease
did it.
morale.
Yep, we
Yep.
did.
Yep. No, we're all totally good. Yep.
Don't
Totally
quit.
good. Not trying to get us closer to death.
Jeez.
Oh, perfect. 3s. And a pair. And a random die. So let's see.
Oh, this sucks.
I'm going to advance this by
I don't have a
1,
I don't know what I have.
2, 4, 5.
No,
Cool. I'm ready to dish out a lot of damage. I put myself at death's door, but it's totally good. I trust you guys. You're totally going to finish this guy off. So here, let me show you what I can do. By finishing off the Song of Perfection Shattered, I can deal 3 damage 5 times. So that's 15 damage to this guy, taking him down to 20. And then I will use my Screech Slap to deal 3 damage, 4 damage, and 5 damage. So that is 9, 12 more damage. So I'm
Nice.
taking this guy down to 8, and I have 1 card left.
So
Oh
I
my
could
gosh.
change the value of 1 die by up to 3 if that helps anybody.
No, because I can finish him off right now.
Cool. And I have at least 6 damage as well.
Alright,
Okay,
so
well,
who wants to pick?
yes. Go for it.
I don't need to do a thing.
You don't need to do a thing.
Okay, so I'll deal 5 damage. Because that's pretty simple.
Takes him down to 3. Whoops.
Finish
There's the
him.
3.
And I'll deal 4 damage.
So Jerome sweeps in for the final blow. Huzzah! We have defeated him. Some of us more alive than others.
Nice.
So, excellent job. So you guys got to see how all the synergies worked, and then we got to play around with some of our powers along the way. We got to try out a bunch of different things. And if we had chosen any of these 4, it changes the experience of the game. Because, like, the ogre and gnome working together, they require a lot of help to get very specific values. And if we didn't have Lemmy sitting there ready to help adjust dice all the time, that changes the dynamics. So, yeah. Also, each boss has their own totally unique theme. So this one was, hey, welcome to the game. Let's introduce you to how fighting works and give you a really tough boss. But there's other ones. One is a fire spirit that causes you to burn, and then after every single combat you take damage, eating away your ability to survive. There's another one where as you're going through, you're in a tower, a wizard's tower, and alchemical potions are dripping down and feeding to a horrible monstrosity at the bottom, making the boss bigger depending on your choices. So there's a lot of really interesting things. There's even one boss that has a henchman that is determined based on how fast it takes you to get to them. And another one where there's a sniper that you're chasing them through the deck, trying to defeat them every step of the way. So thank you guys so much for playing. And
Thank
look forward
you.
to our next game.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Me
This
too.
is great.
Thank you.